Alright YouTube, this is Ethan with the Flinnard, and I'm just doing a quick installation tips and tricks guide for putting this subwoofer in. Now, I am very much a beginner. I'm sure people watching this video are too, so I'll tell you some things I learned as we go along. It's just a quick video on my phone, low budget as you'll see, but I'm going to go around here. And here are the tools that you're going to need. So we're going to start with some screwdrivers. A lot of the stuff in my car was Phillips head. You might also need a wrench if you're grounding out with that sort of bolt. But you see a multimeter here, don't be scared by that. It's my first time using the tool, but it's very helpful. I'll explain that in a little bit. You'll need a wire stripper. Anyone will do. Just make sure you have the correct gauge on your wire stripper that's advertised with your kit. Over here you have your Allen key. That's going to help later on. I'll show you in 1 second. Also got a razor blade just in case you don't have the correct gauge for your stripper. Something that came very much in handy for me. So I'm going to head around to the front here. You see our battery. Now you're going to need to disconnect one of your battery terminals. I'm not doing it right now since it's already installed, but basically unscrew this, take it off so there's no current flowing through the battery, and you're going to unscrew one of these or one of these, and you'll see down here there's a little connector. Now this is circular. You'll need to take some pliers and press the wire into it. You strip off about 1/2 inch of this rubber coating so you have the copper wire exposed. Then you press it together so it makes a firm connection. You can connect it to the battery. Over here you have your fuse. This also comes in the kit that I bought. You strip off 1/2 inch of this red wire, insert it. You see this little hole here, that's actually for your Allen key. It's a screw. It opens up. This plastic piece unscrews so you can insert your wire. You use your Allen key to press down to screw down this screw. Makes a good contact. And it's the exact same thing over here, just on the opposite side. You strip your wire, you insert it, you use your Allen key, screw it down, and make sure this is weather sealed, unlike this little side here. Now this fuse is reversible. There's no positive negative side, it doesn't matter. And then you'll see this plastic piece on here that came with the kit just for protecting the wire. Now this wire goes all the way back and through the firewall, which you can't really see, but it's up in the corner back there. I will bring the camera around to the firewall. Now I'm using a 2012 Scion XB, but I've mentioned that already, and my firewall bypass is right there. You can see the red wire coming down. It's wrapped in electrical tape just so it doesn't run. It doesn't rub on the metal of the car. You see I did have to run it under the gasket. You can see some light coming through. It's not a big issue because there's no exhaust problems with my car, but you'll need to run it through there. Use that hook we installed earlier with a wire coat hanger to get it through. Again, this is a very middle of the process video. You can see my wires aren't run at all. That's why I wanted to make the video right now. See the coat hanger I used right there actually. So we go back here and ignore the red and black cables for right now. That is for our RCA cables. But if we look here, this is the connector that comes with the speaker, and you will see positive and negative. Now the red wire always goes to positive, and this is a very special wire. This is your ground wire. There is no negative wire that comes with the speaker. You're treating your ground wire as the negative, which I came to learn. I actually put this black wire in here thinking that's where the ground wire is supposed to go. I'm supposed to have a different negative cable. Nope, that is not the case. Again, another useful thing to know as a beginner. So these are just another set of Allen keys like we had in the fuse up front. And you just unscrew that. You insert about 1/2 inch. You can see I did a little too much here. You strip your wire 1/2 inch, insert it, and it should look like the red wire here. This would hook up to your subwoofer. You can only hook it one way, don't worry about that. And I'm going to show you what you need to do with your ground cable. I'm going to swing around back here. You can see I already have my storage container popped up. The ground wire again is right there, runs through here, and is connected to ground. Now ground is any metal, exposed metal on your car's frame, because that surface is so large it can discharge energy from the battery. You can see there's another one of those circular grommet things. from the fuse up front, and those again are pressed on with a pair of pliers. I drilled a hole after scratching the metal, so this would make bare contact with the surface of the car. So now I have a proper ground. So I will swing around to the subwoofer again, switch this down, and right here you can see I have that 4-pin adapter to RCA. I have a third-party stereo, so I don't have to use any remote turn-on switch for the subwoofer. So I have this switch on audio, which means when the subwoofer detects audio, it will turn on as soon as it has power. This right here just goes to the front. This is your bass switch, or you can use a knob to turn up or down the bass from the front of your car, depending on the music. Now these RCA cables, again, are not run. They're not hidden. That's what I wanted to show. We go around here. I sit down on my tools, and they go up here and enter my third party's head unit. I'm just going to remove these cables to show you that these are the black and blue wires that I was talking about earlier. These are in the subwoofer out RCA portions of my head unit. They are labeled. I can't really get a good view of it from here, but they are labeled. It'll be very clear, and then my head unit has settings for that. Now, if you're using a factory head unit, they're not going to have these RCA outputs. You will need to get a separate adapter, but look at any video from Crutchfield. They have some very helpful information on that, but since I do not need to use that, and my subwoofer turns on automatically when it detects audio, I'm not going to show that here. But basically, getting your head unit out as well, you just need to unscrew a couple things. See, there are 4 bolts, and that is it. So again, here are your wires, and once you get this all connected up to the adapter here, which is red goes to black, white goes to blue, it will just accept audio immediately and turn on once it has power. Now, some things that I did learn from this process are that you really need to have a good ground, and that is where your, excuse the power tools in the background, but that is where your multimeter comes in. This was very intimidating to me at first to use this because I've never used it before. But what we can do to detect car battery voltage is go to the, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Go to the 20 volt setting. That you see volt right here, 20 volt setting, and that is best suited to check the voltages we're looking at. Now, maybe I can do this one hand, but if we go to the front here, my car battery should have about 13 or 14 volts. And I'm not going to do it because I only have one hand at the moment. But you would put your red on red, obviously by the red positive terminal here, and black on either negative, the negative battery terminal, or anywhere else in the car, it would be ground. So, I did not have good ground for my subwoofer. So I'm going to run around again, doing a lot of run around. What I did was I hooked the red terminal up to the red power cable of my sub, back there, and then I put this on the ground cable. And I only got about 1 volt of power, which is not good. You're supposed to have 14. You need to have 14, just like your car battery, running through your subwoofer. So what I did was reinstall the screw hole that I had made, scraped off the paint, made sure that little piece was making correct contact. And that was also the help of the multimeter, which you can see is already turned on here. So the other thing that took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out was that this switch really needs to be put on audio. Any other way, it's not going to detect the audio. It's not going to automatically turn on and off to save your battery. This switch should always be on high, and this impedance value, phase value, should be on 0 at all times. These knobs are self-explanatory, just like volume, essentially. Then your crossover, what frequency you want your bass to start playing from the subwoofer, and then your bass boost, which obviously, again, is self-explanatory. These are your fuses. Don't ever touch those unless you're sure you blew one of them. They're just voltage protectors, essentially. And I will say, as I get to the end of the video here, that I am obviously going to be missing some parts of this. This is a quick, low-budget film on my phone. And again, I'm a beginner, but if there are any questions that you might have, I do have notifications turned on. You can just ask them in the comments. And yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I'm here to help if you have any questions.